Hello, Bill. Welcome. Thank you for joining me here in Davos today. It's a great pleasure to have a chat.
It's a pleasure to see you.
Great. So, Bill, we've obviously known each other for quite a few years now. We've collaborated through the World Economic Forum and other forums on the circular economy agenda. And obviously, as I've told you, you've been a personal inspiration of mine and of many in the circular movement. But for the audience watching, could you just say a little bit about who you are and what your role has been in the circular movement?
Sure. Well, professionally, I'm an architect. So I did the first green office in New York in 1984. I did the first net energy positive building in America in 1994. So I've been active in architecture and making it safe and healthy. And then starting in about 1990, I started working with a German chemist, and we wrote Cradle-to-cradle, which has been sort of accepted as the textbook in sustainability.
Yeah.
But with Cradle-to-cradle, we see two fundamental questions. One is, are all the materials safe and healthy for biological systems or to go back in industry? That's one. And then secondly, are they in a circular economy? And we put circular second. It's been adopted as circular economy, and I started with that in 1996. I was in Beijing, and I presented a paper to Deng Xiaoping's daughter, who was a minister, and it was entitled Cradle-to-Cradle Circular Economy, it's Cradle-to-Cradle, the Design of the Circular Economy for Ecological Civilization. And it's interesting to note that the Chinese 12-year plan was promote the circular economy. The 13th plan is implement the circular economy, and their next plan is ecological civilization. So it's 25 years later.
Yeah, and it's had an amazing impact, I think, all of your work in driving the movement forward for, as you say, many, many years. It's really, you're one of the founders of the circular movement and beyond. So I've been fascinated over the last 5 years or so to see how much the circular economy has really moved forward, in my opinion. Working with a lot of different businesses, working with the forum, it seems that it's really, really catching on. What would you say are some of the key changes that you've seen over the last 2 to 5 years in the agenda?
I think the main thing that drives it forward are the kinds of things that Accenture has done, which is look for the examples and then articulate their value, so people can actually say, oh, I see. That isn't just theory, it's practice.
Yeah.
And not only is it just practice, it's also business-like practice and very cost-effective and profitable. So I think there's a lot of that that's happened. So our job, we thought, and still do, is to create the examples that people like you can analyze and tell the world why it's really valuable. And so some of the examples have been really fun. We do all of Herman Miller's furniture and Steelcase furniture, but also for Warren Buffett, we designed a carpet that is so safe you don't get sick from it, and it's designed to be recycled rather than just cheap. And it's 10% less expensive. It's now the #1 in the market. So it went from 5 to 1, and it's because you develop a relationship with the customer, because you're storing your raw materials on the customer's floors. So all of a sudden the business models are different because it's circular.
Absolutely. Those are some great examples. And if you had a message for organizations that are either just beginning their circular journeys or are trying to accelerate their circular journeys in the years ahead, what would that be? What's your call to action to make sure that others are getting involved that might not be so far?
Well, I think the first thing I'd say is don't think that it's the linear economy in a circle. Because what we don't want to do is if we're doing something now that isn't optimized for recycling or reuse or human health, if we put it in a circle, it's worse. Because if it was toxic, you just did it again. So that's not what this is. This is an upcycling and a growth in the economy. Because as we do it again, we get to register the value again. That's a multiplier effect on the economy and on a business. It's fantastic. You can reduce costs, it can increase profits. But it's not just what you've been doing and then taking something back and doing it again. It's really redesign and figuring out how do you design into biological or technical cycles. And then re-articulate your product into that space, offer it to the customers as a gift, and watch what happens.
Great. Well, I think that's a really nice message to end on. Thank you so much, Bill. It's been great working with you over the years, and as I said, you've been such an inspiration for all of us, so I appreciate you taking the time to talk.
My pleasure.